What has happened in the 1 year of GDPR?
Well, the GDPR is the biggest change in privacy law in Europe in 20 years. And it's now been 1 year that we and everybody else have been operating under it. So think about it as the first year in a long journey. Everyone's trying to figure out what are our compliance obligations. Everyone's trying to figure out how to do the right thing to comply with the GDPR. And so are we. Google got religion on the GDPR. We got religion on privacy. We are investing heavily. We have 400 people who are now working on privacy questions.
That would have been my second question. Can you summarize? You had a very nice sum up of how much time, how much people, etc. did the GDPR cost you?
Yeah, the GDPR is a demanding piece of legislation. It requires a lot of work and investment to comply with it. So at Google, we've had now about 500 human years of work to do on it. We have 400 people who work on privacy full-time. I'm just one of 400.
What impact did the GDPR have on business?
Well, everyone expects privacy to be respected these days. And so it's true that the GDPR as a compliance requirement is expensive. But at the end of the day, we would have to do this anyway. We have to comply with privacy in order to respect our users' data. We have to respect with privacy in order to earn their trust. Now, we're also doing that to comply with the GDPR. But I tell you what, it's a little secret. If the GDPR didn't exist, we would still have to do this work.
And what consequences have to be talked about?
Yeah, well, because this has only been the first year of the GDPR, there are a lot of things that are still unclear. And we don't have a lot of experience. That's true for the regulators and that's true for companies. There are a lot of questions about what should a compliance program look like, what is the appropriate way to present information to users, call it transparency, what is the appropriate way to obtain consent. Lots of open questions. There are open questions about how do you work when you operate across Europe. Are you working with one data protection authority or with multiple? How does that all supposed to work? And that will take time to figure it out. I am patient. I've been in this field for a very long time. Privacy was an issue 20 years ago and it will be 20 years hence. And so what I see is a great commitment to the field after the first year of the GDPR, but still a lot of open questions.
What would your advice be maybe to other data protectors?
Yeah, well, you have to start with the core principles of privacy. My advice is to always go back to think about users as human beings, to think about their data as their personal data and how it ought to be protected and processed appropriately, fairly, and putting users in control of their data whenever you can. Don't get lost in the trivia of compliance. Keep a big picture about what this is really all about. Don't get frustrated when things are unclear, because things are always going to be unclear. But keep your eye on the ball of privacy and the big principles.